Hello. Oh, got an acupuncture needle left. So yeah, live from my makeshift. Live from my makeshift. Sorry, I've been quite overwhelmed with not intoxication, like oxygen. I've been pumped full of oxygen over the past few days, and it's just getting my words out is a bit difficult at the present. But yes, I'm live from my makeshift sauna. I have a proper sauna, but for some reason the way I wired it, it keeps blowing a fuse, and it needs a bit of attention. I need to fix it, but where I'm moving, and I'll probably need to rewire it anyway to run off the generator, I've sort of left it, and I've come to a good second compromise, and that is I've got some infrared saunas. I've been, over the past year, I've really had an opportunity to explore types of heat, just as an observation, from central heating to infrared heaters to fan heaters and blah blah blah, etc. And for some reason the infrared heat, right, second to the sauna heat, where the sauna heat is a really dry heat, the infrared heat is quite, it gives to the body, and I really appreciate that, at least to my body. But what I've done, I've just got all the heaters in my bedroom now. I've just taken the bed out, and it almost becomes a therapy room. And I've stuck like 3 heaters in here, infrared heaters, and I'm just sitting here like it's like a sauna. All you need is 3 fan heaters and a bathroom, and you've got yourself a sauna. A fan heater, in honesty, most fan heaters can hit 2,000 watts. The sauna, my sauna, is 6,000 watts. So theoretically, if you have 3 fan heaters at home, which cost about 25 quid each, so £75, and you've probably got one lying around already. Use old radiator electric heaters, and just stick them all in a bathroom in the smallest room in your house, and you've got a heater for nothing. You've got a sauna for nothing. So that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. Just getting some heat into my body. And where I've been really lightheaded because of this intoxication from excess oxygen from somewhere, but I know I'm in need of being a bit more light-hearted to balance out the stress of my life. I'm allowing it. I'm going with the flow. I'm being a bit light-headed because it's helpful to the situation, but I'm monitoring it. I've got it in check, so I'm not worried. I mean, it's going to bite me in the arse. I can feel it. It always does, this sort of stuff, but I don't give it any thought. I'm using it in the present moment for balancing out my mental health as best as I can, using the negative in a positive way. That's what I'm doing. And yeah, it will hurt eventually, but as long as I stick to nature, that's my philosophy, that the best solution will prevail. And yeah, where in that lightheadedness I was riding before, some of the stories that were going through my head were amazing, if I'm honest. That's what I describe them as. And they're so real in terms of possibility of storyline. It's unbelievable, but at the moment it's just a story. I've got no proof. But what came away from all of that light-headed thinking was something real. And that was a reflection on a time that I was working at in retail. And I was doing really well as an assistant manager. And I know I had a certain level of admiration from a higher level of management that doesn't really come to the store. He came to the store one day, and I'd put a lot of effort in getting to the shopping on point. It was my responsibility as an assistant manager, that sort of role, and I had it on point. And this manager from high up in the store came round, and he gave me praise. Well, he gave the manager praise on the store, but it was for me, because I know I put the effort in. And around that time, when I was doing well in that regard, I mean, it was hard work, it was a slog, it was an unpleasant place to be. I didn't really want to be there, but I knew I got to a point where I could handle most situations, you know, and a little bit longer, the mentality would be I could handle someone pulling out a gun on me, you know, working at this store and being able to handle it. That's the sort of place I was getting to as a customer service manager. Customer service being, you know, helping people buy clothes. I know I got to a point where I was really good, and around that time, so I must have had a certain level of confidence to life. There was a because it was a men's store, Blue Ink. It was called Blue Ink. I don't know if anybody remembers it. They've sort of gone bust now. But they were a men's store. But a select few of their stores had women's clothes in them, and I was lucky enough. I was lucky enough because it would have been a totally different experience just serving men all the time. It was lovely to have contact with women. And there was one woman that I remember for the first time in my life, I managed to pay a compliment to. Remember, I'm totally like destroyed on a social level of how to interact with women. I've got no confidence, I've got no game, I've got no experience. But there was this woman I liked, and because I had confidence in what I was doing, I surrendered to the role. And I became the role of this assistant manager. And I held my nerve to that. And I was able to connect with her on some level, just to see that I liked her, this customer. I don't know, there was some attraction. And the weirdest thing happened. I managed to pay her a compliment, because she told me that we were talking that, because I remember, well, you don't remember, I can't talk to, well, I can now, I couldn't talk to women on any level, not if I was any way attracted to them, and not even if I was attracted to them. My mental health would push me to the limits where it would tell me, this is when I didn't have a mental health disorder, my mind would tell me I was attracted to people I wasn't even attracted to, and I had to surrender to it. But this one person, and I had no nerve there, so I was always like hiding. But this one girl, because of the situation, I managed to hold nerve to my job role and be present. And she told me she was going away on holiday, and I managed to realise the situation, that the situation was I liked her, and I would have liked to have explored a relationship pretty much, well, for the second time. I have been in a relationship. It would have been for the second time, and more mature and grounding in the world to take into the relationship, instead of being a peasant like I am now, a madman. I had something to give, something to contribute. And yeah, I realised that she was going away on holiday and she'd probably get all the boys chasing her because she was a pretty girl. And I said to her, you know, you'll have all the boys chasing you on holiday. And it hurt to say that, because I know that I liked her, and I would have rather had spent time with her, you know, rather than her going away on holiday. But that was the situation. I surrendered to life's imperfection in that regard. But in response, I still liked her, and it wasn't impossible that I couldn't get in a relationship with her. But she killed me. She destroyed me, because she basically said to me, look, I work at a nightclub at this bar. I was like, right, yeah, I'll go and see her at work. And then I realised I had no friends. I had no friends. Well, I had friends from the past, and they were either married or whatever. And my philosophy at that time was, if I was going to go out, I'd go out by myself, and I'd take drugs in a medicinal way, if anybody can believe that, in a medicinal way to my life, again in terms of balance. And it would be healthy. Obviously there'd be a certain level of unhealth in the drug taking, but I would manage it appropriately to my life. And I can honestly say drugs have saved my life on so many occasions, because I've managed them wisely, and I've managed them wisely in their abuse as well, like at a previous time. But anyway, at that time I would go to a nightclub by myself, a nightclub where it was appropriate to be taking anything. It wasn't uncommon, that's what I'm saying. And I would be at peace in the environment, because I would be appropriate to the environment. But I couldn't fathom myself going to a nightclub by myself that probably wasn't playing my music to approach a girl. I had nothing to go with. I had no ego to give. I tried to contact one friend that I thought I could entice him to come into a nightclub with me, so I could not be alone. And I realised it in that moment when she said it, that I had nothing. Yeah? And the weirdest thing on an energetic level happened. It's like I had all this confidence in all of a sudden because of my job role. But in terms of life, in terms of attracting a woman, which my life was all about on a subconscious level, really, is finding a mate. That was my thinking on a subconscious level. And she was a possibility. And she destroyed me, because I realised I had nothing to give in terms of ego with a social group. I couldn't go to the nightclub to meet her. And I had an energetic field, because I held nerve to a job role. And where I'm not holding nerve to my life and present, just holding nerve to that. And because I felt confident in my life because of my job role, and then I looked at my life because of her comment, and I realised I had nothing. That massive energy field that I had confidence to my work, that was my life, shrunk in an instant. And this big energy field turned into like wraps of really tight bonds in my body of like, how would you describe it? You would describe it like there was butterflies in my stomach, because I know she gave me something, and no women ever give me anything, and she gave me something. She basically said, right, if you like me, come to the nightclub, we'll take it further. And there was butterflies in my stomach because I knew on some level there must have been something in her that said, okay, let's explore this further. But the way she put it forward, I couldn't go forward. So for all that attraction, all that lack of confidence, you know, I had no confidence in me whatsoever to give anymore. I was like, I can't describe it. It was like, it was like a nothingness to life. It was like, I'm attracted to you and I can't do anything about it because I'm nothing. I have nothing. I can't go to the next step. And I knew this all in the moment. And the energy field was shrunk to a pittance. That's what you would call it. I had butterflies in my stomach because of attraction and a possibility of going forward, but a pittance, I think that's the word, where you're just nothing, you're pathetic almost. But because you held that tension, you've got some awareness of what the possibility of life is, and you're nothing to that, and you've got butterflies in your stomach to this woman. The feeling was like I had nothing in my body. I had no control in my body, but my body was alive. But my body my body was pathetic because my mind and my life didn't match it. So it was like a really weird situation. And I just wanted to express, I realised that that's probably one of the few times in my life I've given a compliment to a woman in an unconditional way. I realised she was going away on holiday. As much as I wanted to explore something a bit further with her, a bit more locally, I knew that that was the situation, that was life. And she was going to go, and she'd have all the boys chasing her. And I gave her that compliment in pain. And that's the unconditional realisation I've had as an autistic person, that I managed to give in a time when there was no spirituality in me. There was no real there was no awareness to anything more to life than the present day, the grind, and making the grind good, and just keeping my mind to that, keeping that in check and control. So there was no awareness really of women. I mean, I didn't have any interactions besides a few trips to a nightclub. That was my life. I when I was at home, I was just whacked. I couldn't do a thing, and I would rest all day long for the 2 days I had off in my week. I couldn't move. Then I'd go to work and push through and get my mind on check to the job at hand and keep everything in control, be on top of things. And I'd be glancing at women at afar, but I had no room in my life for it. And then to offer something unconditional when my mind is so engrossed by the grind, to raise my awareness above that, that was the hard thing. That was the difficult thing. And as much as, yes, it was a case of desire, you know, it was a case of attraction, it was a case of want, rather than total unconditionality, like seeing someone in trouble, being robbed, and running over and helping them and screaming at them like a madman, because that's the ability I have. I have no ability to be in a fight. I've never had it. I'm weak as shit, I tell you. I crumble. Any any idea of a physical fight, my body goes weak. I shake in my boots. But I realise, because of who I am in terms of life, I've become this scary monster. Look at me. I walk around bare-chested and I scream all day long. People just don't understand me. So that would be the next unconditional thing to look at, if I can, is to see someone in trouble, getting robbed at knife point, ripping off my shirt, taking off my trousers, and possibly running at them naked to scare the shit out of them. What the fuck is going on with this madman? That would probably be unconditionality, totally. Because I don't have any attraction to the man being robbed. I'm just aware that life is important. That would be the next step. But I did something that raised my awareness above an extremely locked down mentality, and that's what I wanted to share. It's a totally small thing, but it's unconditional, and what it means in terms of, I mean, everything fell apart for me thereafter, if I'm honest. I became depressed, I became alone, I realised how shit my life was, and I crumbled as a human being. That's what's led to me now. So it might be an idea, if anybody hears this message, do you want to come to a nightclub with me? So I can go and see this woman. I'm at that point in my life where I'm exploring ideas that really make sense, and trying to heal through life experience. I'm not trying, but I'm willing. And as I said, I've crumbled as a human being ever since that moment. So maybe if I explore the idea on some sort of interactive level, because my mind isn't able to cope with the situation at hand, and I'm exploring ideas like this because I need to do something, and it might just work on an emotional level somehow. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, we go to a nightclub and have a good time. But please, if anybody sees this message, the nightclub is in Lewisham area, and I don't even know if she works there anymore, but yeah, anybody want to go to a nightclub, just send me a message or put a comment, and we'll meet up. Just tell me how you want me to be. Do you want me to be scary? I can be scary. If you want me to be totally sane, I can be totally sane. I have that ability. I don't know how to be, if I'm honest. I can be present and just be the situation. That's what I'll do. But you can also ask of me. You can ask of me to be a friend to you. You can ask of me to be a buddy. You can ask of me to be any which way, and I'll feel comfortable if you want that. And it's a healing process. I've realised today. I'm realising, and I'm reflecting on it, that I'm realising that however much I hate humanity because of my life, ultimately what I'm experiencing by life is that life will beat me and beat me and beat me and beat me and beat me until I get my act together and live life. You know, life is present, life is shit, but I've got to conquer it. I keep getting knocked down and life keeps telling me to get back up. And I'm realising when I get back up, I keep getting knocked down. I'm seeing it now. And I'm realising that in the moment I'm having to take time off to breathe this intoxication of excess energy I've got in my system, probably from the hysteria of the screaming I've been doing. No, it is. And I'm dehydrated, I know that, and I've got some sort of cold that I'm fighting in the background. I don't suspect it's coronavirus. I need to take a test, if I'm honest. That's what I should do. I'll take a test. But I think it's just a common cold. because I had coronavirus last year and it totally KO'd me. I was lying in bed, I couldn't move. I know how strong it can take energy and zap you and hold you to that cold, that what's it called? The pneumonia element. It really did hold me, and I've got this cold thing where I suffer from my kidneys ever since an experience a few years ago. So I monitor the cold in my body, and that's how I reference it against the coronavirus. And it's not that, it's more like a common cold I've got at the moment, but I should take a test. But anyway, where I'm doing that, and I'm having to take these moments to allow myself to breathe through the intoxication, it's like an unbalanced life. It's like an up and down at the moment. And I'm sort of seeing life where life is asking me to take that mentality again where I had it at work, where I was on top of things, and apply that to life. Just apply that to everything in my life. And in doing that, I'm sort of realising that the answer is always forward. No matter how much I get knocked down, until life shows me the direction I need to go, it's forward for me. And I know my life is going to head to a nothingness point. No, I don't mean I'm going to die. But on a spiritual level, I can feel my life taking a spiritual path whereby there'll be a lot of struggle in me. There'll be a lot of questioning my ability to accept desire and attachment and survival, and the dealing with the you might want to hold your ears now if you're sensitive to reality, but the fact that we're locked in our bodies as prisoners, and we suffer our bodies as prisoners. If our bodies are imperfect, there's a lot of pain. And right now I know I'm in so much pain that I can't breathe to it. I know that. I know right now I'm under some sort of hypnosis because I can feel my body reacting in a certain way, as it always does under hypnosis. So my body's like under a lot of pressure. My life is under a lot of pressure, and I can see the point where it's going to head to as a result of everything. And I'm having to accept that I might lose everything. To be honest, the only thing I claim to own is my beard. Claim to own is my beard. The only thing, the internet connection's going choppy, so I'm going to say it again. Oops. Cut the cock out because it's too hot. Let's see if this cools it down. I'll turn on the light. I think the iPad is getting too hot. Alright, I'm just gonna talk and this place to put it. Fan here. Let's try and do it different. This is how it's gonna be until I cause that strange. Yeah, I've got a fan. It's like an air conditioner. I've got it in fan mode, so it's not cold, but it's putting out air and it's high up. That's why I'm holding it like this. Essentially, get up to life and go forward until life tells me the direction to take, and it will be painful. Like that direction. Be like, this is your job for life, Andreas. This is reality. And I've got to sort of run my reality to a point point really looks like a Zen state. I'll put it like that. If you imagine like a Zen master with no attachment to anything, that's where life is asking me to be right now. And it will take everything from me. I'm prepared for it. So that's the mentality of what I'm contemplating at the moment. The realization point is what matters, and that is because it's been people that have beaten me, society that consider it as much as possible within all of that to true of love to everybody. All hurt me. And I know, like my father, that when he did, I know myself that there was a perfect balance of hatred for the man, for the torment he's put me through for my mental health. Ultimately, I know he was doing it out of love. Because there was no way of me putting love on top of it. It would always be balanced. So at my father's passing, because I blame him for my mental health, ultimately, it's like what is two emotions right now, and I ultimately will come to a point, but there's a feeling on a barbaric level of just wanting to kill the man. You know, I want to kill my father for this, but ultimately, when someone hurts you and it puts you in an attitude like my mental health has, the ultimate feeling is to hurt, is to harm. Now, I've never harmed anybody in my life. I said it on live stream earlier. I have taken more beatings in my life than I can imagine most people have and not responded. I was honest earlier to say that I've only remembered I really stepped out of line on one occasion as a child at school. But it was almost like 50% that I gave. In that moment, I didn't really give more than 50%, I believe, but I gave 50% in that moment. And what I mean by that is I stood up to the challenge of an authority in front of me, and I was willing to harm. But it was childhood play, you know, it was never going to be serious. And honestly, that was the one time in my life I stepped up to 50%. The other times it's always been appropriate to the situation and or run away. Just get away from the situation. And I have been in so many of those situations. And I know the most harmonious way is to just find a way out of the situation. There are times when my madness, as I said earlier, I've just realised my voice that the iPad's called. The madness in my appearance creates situations, but I'm always appropriate as much as possible. That's what I try. I try not to. There's no intention to be aggressive at all. And I forget why I was making that point, but ultimately going forward, it makes sense to no, what I was trying to get at, sorry, is that with my father, I can't deny, the animalistic part of myself, that ultimately for the pain that he's caused, that would be the ultimate response. But no way am I going to do that, because I know life, and I know on another level my father loves me. And no way am I going to want to explore that animalistic level and the repercussions of it in this society at any point in my life. But I can't deny the feeling within me, if I'm honest, because he's hurt me so much through my mental health. Imagine being, this is what I perceive it as. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but that's my perception. And it's almost like being in a relationship where you're being beaten by your partner and abused by your partner on a daily basis. After years and years of abuse and really tough situations, trying to be as innocent and pure as possible within all of that, and turning into a monster in terms of life and appearance. Because of this other person. After 9 years, after 10 years, however long period, can you deny yourself that you don't want this person to die? Can you deny? That's what I'd prefer. I don't think I would want to kill him. I just would want him dead. That's the more accurate response. And he died. The abuse. I know my father loved me, and I know whatever he's done to me in terms of abuse was out of love. I can't deny that. But I have to be real to life, and my life is absolutely insane because of my father, and I want him dead. So in that moment, it was like, it wasn't confusion, it was clarity. Imagine the state of confusion, what you feel, but really intense. But instead of confusion, you're like clear. You're like, right, I've got this massive, intense energy on me. It feels like confusion. It feels like it wants to be confusion. But I know the situation. I know I want my father dead. I know my father's just died. But I know he loved me. I can't express any more love to him because I want him dead. But I can't want more than him dead because I know he loves me on some level. And ultimately, there's tears to come. When I experience that and connect to that element of love, tears will come. But as long as I'm realistic with my life as to what he has put me through, until it displays a different message that somehow this was a blessing, and I can see that, and I can find peace with my father on that level. I can't deny the ultimate feeling of wanting him dead, and there's the ultimate balance there. And I think that's where it's heading with humanity, with you all, with me, with my life, in terms of I'm going to get to that point of nothingness. It's like everything in my life will be taken from me. I don't know how it will look. I don't know if I will be left with anything after, or returned anything, or find security after, or how comfortable I'll be. But I know that's the likely point in my life. And I know at that point, it'll be a case of when I'm shown the direction I need to go for this work, I'm pretty sure the feeling in me will be an ultimate love for humanity that can't be described in any way. Like I've surrendered my life to unconditional love for humanity, half. And the other half, a total disgust, a total betrayal, a total hatred for the experience of my life. And I hold that to everybody. And I know that that's the likely point. I'll be at that point. So there's like an indifferent state I will be with nothingness. And I'll be asked to go forward. Now I'll leave it up to you to tell me which direction you want me to go, because you're going to betray me. I'm going to be in pain because of us all. That's the way I look at it. That's what's happened up until now. And I think that's where I'm going to be. I think that's what the way forward is, to be at that point of knowing ultimately I have love for humanity, and ultimately I've been betrayed by humanity. And to hold that both in mind, like I did for my father, and just go forward with whatever life is asking of me. But in that place where I have that indifference, this is the point. In that place where I have the indifference, on an ultimate level, if we remove society, remove all the buildings, remove all the clothes, remove all the history, in the present moment we've got 7-8 billion people. Imagine everybody naked on the planet with nothing, just for a moment, standing there, or lying there, or whatever position. We're all human beings, man. That's the message, that's the ultimate thing. And I know I've got this indifference to humanity, but we're all fucking human beings first. And what separates us is everything that I've just removed. It's like the emperor's new clothes sort of thing. And when you see 8 billion people naked with no society, and then you start adding the layers back on, and you start to see how people become different from the 8 billion naked humans, you realise that's the point of view in it. To realise that we're 8 billion naked people on this planet. And we get lost to everything else as the layers come on. But it's in that moment of nothingness that you remember it's 8 billion people and everything else doesn't really matter. It's just a game. It's just like, what is there to life? Oh, this is what you want for life. This system, this society is the most vitalising way to live. That's the way it's come to. There's so much destruction, but there's so much life. Maybe that's the polarisation that gives life the most for 8 billion people to vibrate at a certain frequency, but there's so much suffering at the same time. And you remember those 8 billion naked people, and you know you've got half of you that's got unconditional love for them, and you've got half of you that's got total hatred for them, so you can't really do anything for them. But you look at the world and you think, what the fuck am I going to do? You're a person, I half like you, I half hate you. I half like you, I half hate you. But I know that if I apply my healing mentality to life, life becomes easier. If I apply the way I was as the therapist, as a disabled shamanic healer that I believe I've become on some level, and just take that and lose myself to the present moment and forget all the layers that have been put on this person and just see a naked person in front of me and see the imperfections in their body, in their life, and give to them something that can improve their life on some level from my perception. I know the feeling, due to the programming I've had as a child, that giving is good, giving is generosity, being benevolent is a good thing. And in this world, that's what's needed, really, a benevolence, kindness, compassion. Where's Kuan Yin? That's the question. Kuan Yin, a goddess of compassion. I've been calling her. I created the coronavirus calling Kuan Yin. That's my belief. I was calling Kuan Yin with such intensity at the time. And Kuan Yin is meant to be Chinese. And all of a sudden this coronavirus appears in China. At the back of my mind I'm thinking, fucking hell, I better calm down with this Kuan Yin calling. But the question is, where is Kuan Yin? That's the question we all need to be asking. Because we need compassion at this level. Those 8 billion people, man. But going forward, I know what I get from giving, what my body gets, what my life gets from giving. And if I know that this person is suffering at that level and this little thing might improve their life in a certain way, and I can do it instinctively, that's the thing. As a disabled shamanic, I can't call myself a healer, but a disabled shamanic, I don't want to say madman, disabled shamanic, a disabled shamanic human. That's what I'll call myself. DSH for short. A disabled shamanic human. And I go forward and I act instinctively. I act by nature. I just perceive the person in front of me. I forget the layers that they've put on themselves that antagonize my eyes and my life and my memory. And I forget that. And I connect to this instinctive, disabled shamanic human level, where I see beyond the pain this person is causing me on some level, probably, just by being there, because it antagonizes the hatred I have for humans in front of me. And I forget that. And I just be present, and I remember the 8 billion naked people. And I look at this man and I see, oh, he's holding his posture on. If he taps his chest like this every day, whenever he can, for 2 minutes, it will improve his life. Why would I not say that? Because I know the likelihood is his life would improve. I don't know for sure, but with everything I've learned, I've been sincere. And there's no reason for me to doubt that that won't improve his life. And fuck it on some level as well. I believe it's going to help him. What the fuck are we doing not helping each other? Let's pretend to be Kuan Yin. It just makes sense, doesn't it? I'm not trying to be mean to anybody. I see an imperfection from... The problem is I'm imperfect myself. I don't know perfection at an ultimate level. I don't know if the suggestion for this man to tap his chest that will correct his posture, that I believe will improve his life, will be the best thing for him. But I'll be brave. That's the thing. I'll be brave, and I'll be... Look at my life, and I know my fucking life, and I know my sincerity. I know my application for health. I know the intention I've given. I know the intention I've given all the way along, despite whatever it's looked like. And I come away from it, and I've learned different aspects of anatomy and the human body and healing, and somehow, I don't even know how, on a basic level of my understanding before. And there are many occasions when I'm able to do that, and I've resisted up until now, because my mind hasn't allowed it to my life. But I'm looking at myself and I'm seeing myself as empty. That's what it is. I'm seeing myself as empty. I'm seeing myself as holding that posture that I held for my father towards all human beings. I know I won't harm a soul. But I know because I love them on some level, and because I know the repercussions of the common society that we all live in. It's not anything to explore. And in that nothingness moment, because that's what it ultimately does, when you're in that place of love on one level and ultimate hatred, wanting them to die on the other level, and you're in between, and you're like, I'm not going that way, definitely, and I can't go that way because of that way. So I just sit here. There's no harm to me, no harm to you, ever. But not only is there no harm, because of the programming of my past, and because of what I know of myself and what I know of life and what I would apply to myself because of what I know of life, and because of the good intention I've given on a constant basis to the shitness that I've experienced, I'll say to you, I believe with everything I am, this action will do you good. Fuck knows if it will. But you are fucked like me within this layer system. Here is a gift of unconditionality that I believe will guide you in the correct direction to get you out of this layered bubble. I've got a system here that I'm operating within, and I've got intense pressures in terms of my mental health. I believe if I didn't have these pressures of my mental health and pain and physical discomforts, I'd conquer certain aspects of life, but I'm not able. And I'm trapped within the layer system myself, and I can't see from the top. So now ultimately to look down and say, what is the best thing for you? But I say for myself, because I believe in myself, believe in my past, believe in my life. And just observing you out of this total it's not unconditionality, but total indifference, that's the word. Sorry, I'm just trying to put the grill on. Total indifference in that place. But I know, because I believe in myself, and I believe in myself so much that I say, I've looked at this layered system all my life, and I believe I've looked at this layered system more intensely than most human beings. And I know this layered system from a certain perspective. Here is a gift from everything I've given to observing this layered system that gets put on us as 8 billion people and changes us. That might guide you in the right direction where I'm stuck at this